Hello, welcome. I'm going to start another color along. It is going to be out of Teresa Goodridge's book. This is Wish You Were Here. So this is an older book, not super old, 2020. I have not done a lot out of this book, so this is a requested page. So I thought I'd go ahead and do that one next. So this is the page that was requested. She said the Mediterranean style page with the pool, which I'm assuming is this one because I peeked through the book and I didn't see another pool. So part of her hesitation with the page was this design right here around the pool. To me, it's they have a part when you get out of the pool that's like sunk down a little bit, so when the water goes over the edge it doesn't go all over the floor. So to me, that's how I'm going to color mine. If I can find a picture, I will post it up here so you can see what I'm talking about. But usually they have this little grate, just so like when you get out, it's got a little traction, you don't slip, and then the water isn't going all over, flooding everywhere else. So we are going to make this look like it's a little taller than the water, but a little lower than this tile floor and couch right here. So when I look at this page, the first thing I try to do is pick which parts scare me the most. And for me, she said Mediterranean, which jumped into my mind. I think I want to go with orange and tealish palette. So my biggest thing I think I want to get out of the way first is this building. I feel like if I get this building out of the way, then these trees and furniture won't be so scary looking because they'll just be little pieces. So I am going to start with my building. Now again, I'm thinking more of an orange-ish building. So I pulled an orange palette. You can do whatever comes to your mind. I have sepia and dark brown. Now these are just my shadow colors for where things are dark. My actual building colors are going to be terracotta, pumpkin orange, mineral orange, and beige for my lightest areas. So I am going a little out of my wheelhouse. I haven't done a whole lot of orange on my channel, so I think this will be really fun. I am going to swatch these for those that are not using Prismacolor so you can still see what colors I am using. So I'm going to slide over here. This is my dark brown, and I'll do fairly big ones so they show up, and I will hold it up. Terracotta, pumpkin orange. So we're just working our way to that orange building we like. Also good brick colors. Mineral orange. And then our beige. And the beige is going to look a little out of place, but we are going to go back over that with a little bit of orange and kind of tint it as needed. So here is our color palette for our building. All right, so sliding back over, I'm going to try to stay centered here. Now, I did not put the sepia, which is my darker brown color, on here. I'm not sure if I'm going to need it yet, so I'm kind of just leaving that one off for now. But the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to kind of look at the page and decide where my shadow colors are going to be. So to me, it looks like this little area stands out from this wall and this wall. So I'm going to shadow right here to start with. I'm not going in dark again. My first layer is just planning colors. I am going to go darker at the bottom here where all these plants and everything are up against the wall. Sorry about the sniffles. We went from winter to straight to allergy season, so no stop, nothing, just. Okay, so just kind of darkening that brown in a little. I'm also going to go around this. And you can do this two ways. If you are a base layer kind of person, you can go through, put your beige all over everywhere that's building, and that will kind of map out the building for you. I hesitate to do that just because I like the dark rich colors, and sometimes with base layering you don't get that dark rich vibrancy because they're wiped out. You can also work on one section. So if you want to start here, put all your shadows in around this tree and plant, put all your oranges in and work your way over. That's a great way to do it too. To me, the way my mind works, I like having my shadows built in. It just kind of helps me see where my highlights need to go. So I haven't, other than the turquoise and orange palette that I have in my mind, I haven't actually planned this page out like I usually do for a color along. I have planned the building out. So this will be a very much of a kind of go with the flow kind of page. My line stops here on this, but I'm going to go ahead and bring it up anyway. Just because I feel like that's an odd place for a wall to stop if that's what it's supposed to be. That might be a little off, but I can fix it. This area is going to be shadowed with tree anyway. So I'm just going right under. I'm not going very far out because I still have other shadow colors. So for the dark brown, I'm just going right under the tree. And this is probably going to be one whole video on the building, just because I feel like this can be the scariest part, and I kind of want to make sure I am thorough for those who are following along or learning. So again, right beside these leaves on the underside, and you will hear little meows because we have the babies out playing, and I think they lost each other. Okay, and I'm going to do this line as well. Now this is a crack that goes all the way across, which is weird to me because this looks like it's sitting in front of this building, or maybe it's, no, I think it's a crack. So I'm not sure how I'm going to play that one off yet, but I'm going to continue as if this is sitting in front, because when you get down here on the floor, it does look like it's in front of that. Just making sure he wasn't under my chair. Sorry for the bump. One little baby. They're finally big enough they can say hi. One little baby. And if his brother happens to appear, he can say hi too. Now that I'm sidetracked. Okay, again, so this is my dark brown. Oh, those are bricks. Don't want to color the bricks. And again, I'm going for an orange building, so this brown isn't necessarily going to be brown once we get everything put on here. Go under here and around this tree a little bit. Okay. So my next color is going to be that terracotta. I think I'm going to go ahead and just start right here with this middle section. And I'm actually going to bring it down a little. Okay. So quickly before I forget, because we were talking about shadows, I'm going to shadow around my cactus a little bit. Not a whole lot, just enough to make it look like he is leaving a shadow on that wall there. Okay, terracotta. So everywhere I put that dark brown, I'm going to darken it with this terracotta. And this is what's going to start our transition from brown to the orangey palette. Okay, so I'm going to work my way around this window. Now on this, I don't want my shadow real far out. Just want enough to make it look like this window is not flat against the wall, basically. Okay, and I'm going to turn this for just a second. And lightly run my terracotta across here. Now I didn't do the edge of my window on that side, so I'm not going to put my terracotta there yet. We'll come back and do that spot. And again, I'm going to do down the side here. Okay, terracotta. Oh, here's the other one. I was wondering who was tickling my toes. He's a cute little Siamese looking kind of baby. Two very different personalities, just like children. Oh, 1 second. They knocked down my... so they can't get to the cords. Okay. So then we're going to come in with pumpkin orange. I always mix up my pumpkin orange and mineral orange, so I have to peek to be sure. I always feel like mineral orange is the darker one. Okay. Oh, I guess I should. Again, not blending or burnishing yet, just planning. So not worrying about perfection just yet. I can tell you I am going to want to come in with a little dark brown under this tree here, which is another reason I plan out colors so I can add if I need to. Okay. And then, now that we got a nice layer of mineral orange, our mineral orange is what's going to transition us to our light beige color. So I am going to run this down here. Now remember, in my mind, this part of the wall is sitting out further than this. This is kind of back further. So I am going to put a highlight on this section. This section will be a little darker. If that is not how you want yours to look, shade yours accordingly. And then we will bring in the beige. So this is where it's going to look a little weird at first because this beige does not match my orange palette. But we're going to do it anyway. Believe in the process here. We got to remember, when we mix colors together, the colors will change. Okay, so that's looking really rough, right? Lots of blendy lines. I didn't even put a little orange down the side of this here. So I kind of worked backwards just so I could have just a tiny bit of dark there, not a whole lot. I'm not going to go all the way up because again I'm going to put that terracotta in and bring it down. So this is my blender color. This is going to blend all our shades of orange and brown into one pretty color. So if you like the tannish with the darker on the edges, you can leave it. I, however, want to bring in just a dot more orange, so I am just going to very, very lightly just tint that beige with a little bit of orange. And I'm going to do it everywhere. So pressing a little harder around this cactus just to blend out the harshness. And if we get a couple streak looking marks, like right there down the building, it just kind of helps the building look old. I'm not going to worry about blending that out right away. I am going to darken this edge just a little. Personal preference. Okay, so that's going to kind of be the look of my building, minus a little bit of the harsh lines here. I will get those all blended out. But for the start of it, I'm going to leave it like that. So then I'm going to do the same thing on this wall over here. Now this wall over here is going to be a little trickier because it is a lot more shadows. So I'm going to remember everywhere I put that dark brown. And this part is kind of hard to rush. That's why I said this whole video will probably be on the building. So if you've already got yours and got the hang of it, you're it. Hey, I brought the babies up here and now they're like, excuse me, I want to come back up. Okay, I am going to shadow down the side here. And again, everywhere I put a little bit of that brown. Okay, so next is our pumpkin orange. So again, I don't know if I actually said the order. The exact order from darkest to lightest will be your dark brown if you choose to use brown. You can also use Tuscan red or whatever you want there. So a dark shadow color, and then terracotta, pumpkin orange, mineral orange, and beige. And you can adjust as needed. If you don't like the beige, swatch it out with your mineral orange and find a color you like that goes with it. Also, there will be an album in the Facebook group if you care to share. I try to make one for all the color alongs on YouTube. Just because I started the Facebook group mainly for people who were having trouble navigating YouTube or didn't have an account, I could post the videos there and they could just click it instead of trying to keep tabs of me on YouTube. So there's always that option as well. Or on Instagram. I am the same name on every platform, so hopefully that makes me a little easier to keep track of. So under these leaves, I am not leaving a highlight spot. There must be a wrinkle in my book because I have a weird shape right there. Okay, so these leaves are all very much bunched together, so I don't feel like there's going to be this bright open highlight like there is on this side. So I'm leaving out the beige. Now I might come back and put the beige over the top and lighten it just a touch. But for now, I'm going to fill it all in. Again, working around these leaves is kind of the trickiest part of this section. I'm going to leave a little highlight spot right there because I feel like that's a pretty big open spot. So I'm going to go around the trees here and kind of build out a little, and I'm going to work backwards. So then I'm going to come in with my pumpkin, And that just helps me keep the darker colors right next to the branches there. And then terracotta will be right over the lines here. And I want to keep that rough feel of them. Okay, so this is back with my mineral. And then I will also put a little beige in here. So I'm not going to come back and buff all this out and overlayer it just yet. I'm just going to get my colors in and see what I think from there. Again, down here is going to be a little darker, so I'm going to darken that up. And then I'm going to add my terracotta over the top of that. And then whatever I decide to color these here at the bottom will stand out a little brighter because of these dark shadow colors we have down here. So I am getting in between the leaves of that little plant as well. Okay, so just quickly, this one you can definitely tell is missing the terracotta part. And then again, we're going to get darker as the trees get bunched up here toward the top. Put that terracotta in a little heavier, and then if I feel like it's not dark enough, we will come back and add some more brown. You can kind of see how that's going to all start to come together there with a couple more layers. So I'm going to kind of jump over this way for a second. Same thing. Everywhere I have that dark brown, I'm going to put in my terracotta. And I'm going to shadow the bottom a little darker. Okay, pumpkin orange. And again, not blending the lines out a whole lot or anything, just planning. This is where my highlights are going to appear. Okay, mineral orange transitions our orange to the beige. And then also I am going to, I put a little shadow right here, but I am going to make this stand out as well, like I did the bricks here. So that is your choice whether you want those, because it kind of looks a little odd on the side here, but that's how I'm going to do mine. So I'm going to roll with it for now. Okay, mineral orange. Make sure I'm on camera here. I'm trying not to get better about sliding everywhere here. Okay, and then that beige color. That again I will come back over with the pumpkin orange. So if you like it like that, you can leave it. If not, add a little of your, or mineral orange. There you go, confusing them again. And orange it up just a little. So I will show you right here, kind of, again, very lightly, and notice I am going up and down, and that's to kind of give the wall a feel of the grade of the wall going up and down. Okay, just blend out any harshness. So there is where we are so far. Now a couple areas are going to get a little tricky as we get into the more cramped areas here. So this is my pumpkin orange. And I'm going to kind of just play with my two oranges. So I'm going to put my pumpkin orange in the dark spots and my mineral orange in a little bit lighter. And then I can come back with the red when I get it all done and kind of do one of these and build my shadows in. And then the same with the brown if I feel like it needs it. Now around these bricks might be where I bring in that sepia and just add one more level of dark shadow against it, but I'm going to do that at the end. So again, coming in with the pumpkin orange, and just kind of pulling it out from where I put in the dark. And I skipped the... It's funny when you put the orange and brown together how you can tell you skipped the terracotta because it's just not got that orangey feel. Okay. So a couple of these spots are going to be up to you how you want to play them. I have this little doorway up here that I'm going to darken with my pumpkin orange to start with. Bring out the mineral just a little, and then I'm going to put the highlight color around it, and that'll just kind of help this door pop out a little bit, not lost up here in the trees all by itself. Now notice this to me looks like wood right here, so keeping in account I will have the branches and the wood here, kind of what browns and colors I'm going to want to use to keep those separate. So again, I will come back and blend this area out a little bit. I'm going to leave this pillar alone for just a minute. I'm not fully decided what I want to do on that. So I'm going to work around it and see what I like first. So I'm going to darken in here a little because it feels like it would be pretty dark to me with all this tree right here. I'm going to be a little careful right there because... Okay, so again, mineral orange. I did have a couple of people ask me if I was going to continue with the Teresa Goodridge color alongs, if I could talk. I am going to try to do one or so a month depending on how quickly I get them done. Some of her pages are done a little easier than others, especially on video. So I have been writing down requests and just kind of putting them down in order. But I would still like to get a couple out of some others done as well. I will have my mythographic of the month videos probably back to full page color alongs next month now that I am back at my desk. And so, but I have made a playlist for each of these, and then I made one playlist of all my Teresa pages. So hopefully that will help as well if you need to find one. But if you have one you would like to see, such as this one, just let me know and I will write it down and get it in and see what I... This one was a little challenging for me. I have not tackled this book yet. So when she picked this one, I was like, yeah, this can be a challenge. So I'm going to go ahead and go out of my comfort zone all the way and pick a color palette I don't use a whole lot as well. All right, so that is going to be my base. Of course, up here, I'm going to do the same thing. Apparently, I just stopped halfway up the page. I'm going to be careful because I think that part might be part of the window, so I'm going to skip it for now and go up here, but I am going to make the top of this darker. Not necessarily because it's covered by trees, but it's a little hard to do without pulling the book close to me, going in between those, so the green will stand out. Okay, so again, doing darker toward the top just to give it an appearance that it's further away. I will go back in and touch up my little shadows and all that, and then when we come back the next time, we will knock this pole out and maybe the pool area. So questions, comments, anything like that, please let me know, and I hope to see you for part 2.